What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning back. So today we're going to be covering the Black Ops 3 teaser Ember trailer, and if you haven't seen it, I'll make sure I'll leave the link down in the description so you guys can check it out. Then you can come here and follow the discussion and all that good stuff. So I really want to share my thoughts and opinions about this trailer. I didn't post it up, really quickly as soon as it came out because I was working, but I did watch the trailer and I paid attention to it. And today I have some thoughts and opinions I want to share with you guys. So obviously, when you first start off the trailer, the first thing that you guys see is, this thing says mankind's greatest mistake will be, its inability to control the technology it has created. So right off the bat, what is this telling us? This is obviously telling us that Black Ops 3, it's not going to be in the World War II era. So whoever was thinking that, you can get that off your brains right now, okay? Before Dr. Salim goes and just surgically enhances you, to actually believe, and just know that it's not going to be in the past, guys. All right, so it's going to be in the future. To be exact, I believe it's 2065, the year that it's going to be taking place in. So this is actually, more advanced than Advanced Warfare itself. So that could be either a very good thing or a very, very bad thing. Right now, I'm standing on the fence of, I don't want to be giving, choosing sides, but I want to say it's more of a bad thing. Even though this trailer is really cool, and I'm pretty sure Treyarch will do a lot of amazing things with this game. Right now I'm a little bit scared. Obviously on this Sunday, the actual first reveal trailer will come out, but as of the moment, I'm a bit scared of what's going on with Call of Duty. So obviously, when you start watching the trailer, you actually start seeing a whole bunch of sports things. Like for instance, the first clip right here is, just some bicycles, a bicycle race, just any traditional bicycle race. And you actually, you start seeing like time traveling in the video, from the 1990s bodybuilding, people swimming, and just overall in general sports and people being enhanced by steroids and things like that. So later, further into the trailer, you guys will see how it actually, goes up into the years 2011, and they're talking about wearable technology, which is actually what's going on at the current stage of our lives right now. You got the iPhone. It's not really a wearable technology, but it's pretty close. You got the Apple Watch, which is actually coming out now. That's a wearable technology, and it's actually like, believe it or not, there's being chips, inputted into human beings at this moment. You guys may not believe that, but it's happening. They are also, figuring out that, now you can actually put prosthetic limbs on people who, have missing arms, missing legs, and they could, possibly bypass the fact that they're handicapped just because of these, enhanced technologies and being able to actually put prosthetic legs and arms on people. So that's definitely something very interesting to actually pay attention into this, trailer, because this is something that could take a very big toll on this game. And I really think that this game is going to be a lot of cybernetic enhancements. It's not going to be Advanced Warfare type of thing. Advanced Warfare, people are still human. That's why I think that this game is going to be far beyond more advanced than Advanced Warfare. It's going to be, I feel like some part of your actual soldier is going to be a robot. So it's going to be kind of half robot, half human. And I'll actually explain and get into that, a little bit more into this video. And then obviously here you have this guy who's giving somewhat of a speech, and obviously he has no lower extremities, which is also known as, legs. And he does have prosthetic legs. And he is talking about how they are going to possibly be able to end, disabilities. In other words, people that can't walk or can't ride to their, missing limbs, arms, or legs. And then later on into this, video, you actually see how, in the year 2025, you have the actual IBA, which is, in other words, NBA. They're just not really trying to say NBA, but how they're actually enhancing and letting, actual players who are enhanced be part of the Basketball Association. So that's going to be a very big part of this trailer. If you guys see it, you can actually see that, the world is taking these people who are being experimented on into acceptance. In other words, it's going to be something that's going to more or less be natural to the world at some point in this Call of Duty life cycle, as far as Call of Duty Black Ops 3. So eventually, when you have something like this, at the end of the day, it's something always comes to an end. So later on in the trailer, you guys will see that, people start rioting and things like that. Then later on in this scene, you see this woman who actually is missing her two lower limbs, her two lower legs, and has prosthetic limbs, which are obviously enhanced. She's actually recorded the fastest human being, ever to exist. So like I said again, people with enhanced things are being accepted. They're being accepted into society and things like that, and it's more like a natural thing now to the human race around this year, and this is obviously still in 2025. And then later on, about 20 plus years, which is 2041, they actually take it a step further, and scientists start, you know, finding out ways that you could implement chips into human brains and things like that, and you can kind of just text amongst each other, and you'd be surprised because this could actually be happening. This is very possible in real life. So basically in this game right now, at this current moment, you know, 2041, people can actually speak without even having to speak, if you guys get what I'm trying to say here. So basically text via brain, if that makes any sense at all. But this goes to tell you how advanced this game is going to be. You know, don't worry, I'm going to keep on discussing this trailer, then I'm going to give you guys my opinions and thoughts, so just make sure you guys stay tuned. And of course here, you know, 2051, another 10 years later, they're actually even taking it a step further, which is now they're doing DNA upgrades, exchange, you know, so basically instead of people paying for, you know, women how they pay for their breast, or, you know, guys pay for their chest, or whatever the hell guys do or women do nowadays, now people can actually pay for DNA. You know, you can enhance your DNA. You could change your internal parts, internal organs, which is a little bit more dramatic. You know, it's more intense than anything that's, you know, occurring at this current moment of our lives. So a lot of big changes are going in the human race, and you know what's interesting about this trailer is that this could all be very possible, guys, like I said. Then later on into the trailer, you'll see, which actually appears to be pretty damn crazy. It's a creepy but very interesting thing. A basketball player with some type of special retinal implants, you know, lenses for their eyes, which is obviously by the name of Cord Optic, which is probably just for basketball players, maybe just for sports, but it's definitely called Cord Optics, and then their retinal implants are 2055, so definitely taking place in the year 2055, and they are basically to enhance the player's vision. Maybe the player can see everything in slow motion, you know, as far as when he's playing a sport, or maybe just see more details in his everyday life. And then of course, like I was telling you earlier, years later after that, you know, and just like I said in the beginning of this video, it said basically, you know, mankind's greatest mistake will be its inability to control the technology it has created. So, you know, years after that, 2060 something, you see this rage going on between human beings, probably the human beings that do not have any enhancement. Maybe the people in this game that were able to get all these enhancements were wealthy people, you know, athletes, people like that of some sort. Kind of like the people nowadays, you know, the wealthier they are, the more things they can do with their lives, and maybe that's what's happening now. But it's all kind of contradicting, you know, everything in the human race, and that's why you probably see all this raging and commotion about. And then obviously here you got this guy talking about, you know, comparing his retinal technology, you know, the one they have in the army and things like that, comparing it to the ones in the mall. So therefore you already know that this thing is a natural thing. This is happening everywhere. You know, people can buy it at the mall, you can buy it at your local store, for God's sakes. But he's actually discussing that in the military, their technology is even more advanced, hundreds of times more advanced than it is in the actual world for these people in 2065. And of course he's actually talking about how they can change the entire human body. You also see pictures in the trailer of how the human skull can change from size to size, and they can heal each other with robotics and things like that, and you can change humans into robots. They're using their soldiers with this technology and changing their soldiers into robots for better performance and better things like that. And obviously later into the video, towards the end, you'll see that this guy's talking there, and he's kind of trying to convince the public that all that is not true and things like that. But then you see this image, you know, this footage at the end that is a thermal vision, and you see a guy that's a regular soldier, and then you have this other guy that the only thing that you see in thermal vision is his head and his torso. His limbs are pure black, meaning that there is no blood flow, because that's what, you know, that's what thermal vision is blood flow. And basically what this is telling you is that this guy, this soldier, is 50% human, 50% robot, and obviously he's a soldier, so this, you know, goes into participation with this is going to take place. This thing that's, you know, the people that are being enhanced the most are people in the army, and obviously the people in the army, you know, that go to war are the people that we play as, the people that are going to be in the multiplayer, the people that are going to be in the campaign and things like that. And that really already goes to tell you that this game is going to be based in the future, and it seems to be a lot more advanced than Advanced Warfare. Now the thing that you do want to take into consideration is that you didn't see any exo movements, any exo suits or anything like that. Now that doesn't really justify the fact that You know, there is no boost jumps, no double jumping, because remember, these people are internal. You know, maybe, you know, they could jump that high, maybe they could triple jump for all you know. You know, we don't know that yet, because at the end of the day, you got to take into consideration that these people are internally enhanced. They're faster, quicker, stronger, they have more stamina, and you know, whatever you see in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is all external, because the technology is not that advanced. It's a little bit more, I would say, realistic, even though Black Ops 3 looks very possible that, you know, things like that could happen, but obviously a little bit more further ahead into the timeline of human race. Now, the thing is that this could make or break the game. You know, if Treyarch could do something very, very special with this and make it, you know, make the game flow even better than it's ever been, obviously, you know, if you really think about it, they do have a very, very good, you know, track record and things like that. But then again, everything could go wrong. But you guys got to take one thing into consideration, guys, okay? One thing. Treyarch has been developing this game for 3+ years. You know, I would say not 3+. I would say, let's just say 3 years almost. And it comes, you know, as statistically 85% of people, okay, so 80+ people in the COD community, Call of Duty community, they do not want exosuits back. That's statistically proven, okay? 80+% of people do not want exosuits back. But obviously, if Black Ops 3 was, you know, being developed and planned out 3 years ago almost, it is nearly impossible for Treyarch to go ahead now and just take off, you know, everything and redo the game from scratch, because they just will not be able to do that. Now, if they see, you know, because I know Treyarch listens to their fans, every Call of Duty developing team, you know, listens to their fans. If they see and they're aware that exosuits are really that bad for the franchise, I'm sure that they will not redo the whole game. Now, one thing that they could do is possibly take out the ability of double jumping and things like that. Maybe parts of the map that had, you know, several leverage areas, several levels to the map, maybe they could tone them down a little bit. You know, who knows? But that is something that they could modify from here to launch day. They still have several months. But as far as, you know, changing the whole mechanics of the game, I would say that anywhere from 85 to 90% of what's already been made for Black Ops 3 is going to stay in the game, because it's nearly impossible for them to just take it out and start from scratch. That's not gonna happen, guys. Now, obviously, they can take, you know, measures and just like I said, play with it and see how it works out. But let's talk about this, you know, this Call of Duty. What do you guys think? You know, I'm telling you my opinions. I think that this Call of Duty, it's gonna be a very, very big hit or a very, very big miss. It could go either way, guys, okay? And I'm simply telling you this because, like I said, when Ghost came out, a lot of people were disappointed, and, you know, people get disappointed every year at Call of Duty at the end of the day. That's just the COD fan base, how it is. You know, and the reason is, I don't really think it's exosuits that much. Like I always say, I think the main reason is because of skill-based matchmaking. I think exosuits would be a little bit more enjoyable if it was due to skill-based matchmaking, you know, being taken off. But I think that no matter what happens, as long as Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has no skill-based matchmaking, the game will be more enjoyable, because Call of Duty, believe it or not, it's a passive game. It's not meant to be competitive. If you want to play competitive, you either go to league play or rank play, whatever you want to call it, but you don't do that in pubs. Pubs in Call of Duty is meant to be, you know, just for fun. You know, sometimes you have your lobbies with really good players, you know, you have 1 or 2 good players that are around your same skill level and everybody else is below you, or vice versa, things like that. And at the end of the day, the people that are getting murked on or just getting, you know, killed back and back and back, they don't really care. You know, those people are the new guys. Those are the guys that have to go to, you know, through the same thing that the good guys went through to get better at the game. And people that are new to the franchise, they don't really care about getting killed. Okay, they're just caring about playing the game and getting better. If anything, you know, getting murked on actually motivates you to play the game more and get better at the game. At least that's what it does to me. But anyways, I think that this, you know, this trailer thus far is the most detailed trailer we've had yet. On Sunday, the 27th, we will see, you know, the final and first official, you know, that made no sense, final and first, okay, the first official reveal trailer for Black Ops 3, and we're really gonna find out whether that's gonna be, you know, exosuits or not. But right now I'm thinking that they're gonna be cybernetically enhanced. Soldiers are gonna be a lot quicker, a lot stronger, more stamina. I want to say that there might be wall running or exo jumps, whatever you guys want to call it, but we will have to you know, wait and see what happens. There might be, I'm not saying there's going to be. I'm more on the side that there's not going to be, just because of what happened with Advanced Warfare, and obviously they had to save the franchise, but there might be, you know. So, you know, you guys gotta kind of, you know, don't go 100% to one side of the fence until the actual news, you know, official news comes out. So this is what I think about this trailer. I kind of broke it down a little bit for you guys on what I saw and what I think it's happening, and then I give you my opinion on what I think, you know, it's good or not good. Like I said, it could be good, it could be bad, it could be a hit, or it could be a miss. I really want to know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. I'm really interested to kind of read your comments and to see what's going on in your head. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys are thinking. If you guys are excited for this Call of Duty due to the trailer you guys saw, let me know in the comments. If you guys are kind of not liking the way this is going, let me know in the comments. And anyways, like I always say, my name is HollowPoiint. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys can stay up to date with all the latest and greatest Call of Duty news, tips, tricks, and video gameplays. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. If I can stop this